You cannot fool yourself into avoiding accountability. And just as Elsa said, you're in fact not doing enough. You cannot spend your life in bed from morning till evening and then expect for you to find a man that is accountable, a man that is respected, a man that's hardworking, when all you do is sit down on a couch like a sack of potatoes. You cannot. Welcome to Unravel Deity, the podcast that delves deep into the tapestry of self-discovery and guides you on the journey to becoming the best version of yourself. I'm Shirley Amondi, your curious companion and host on this beautiful expedition of introspection, and I hope that your presence here contributes positively to your journey into the realms of personal growth, enlightenment, as well as the art of becoming a better human for a better society and therefore a better world. Stay tuned. On today's episode, we're going to speak about accountability in your self-growth journey as well as self-love journey. The whole episode, it's now available on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts, so run there and listen to the whole podcast. You're not fooling anybody doing the absolute least and expecting the maximum results. You are not fooling anybody except yourself, and in fact, to this era, when you try to teach people about self-love, about self-growth, you have to deliver this in such a compassionate tone, in a way that you are babysitting people, in a way that you are spoon-feeding people, in a way that you are sugarcoating things. A spade should be called a spade. You are doing the absolute least. You're doing the absolute minimum. You cannot expect the maximum results. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so you have to get your balls out there and start walking towards the person you want to be. You cannot wish it. You cannot wish the person you want to be into reality. You cannot wish it into reality. If you want to be some type of way, you're going to have to work to be that type of way. You cannot wake up every day saying, I should do this. I should do this. Instead of saying, I should do this, just wake up and do it. Every day you're lying to yourself that you love yourself, when every single day you are making empty promises to yourself. How do you expect to find a partner, a life partner that will not take you for granted, a life partner that will keep his words to you, a life partner that will take you seriously, a life partner that will motivate you when you don't even take yourself seriously? Every single day you are making empty promises to yourself. It doesn't make sense, and you cannot claim you love yourself when every single day you are making empty promises to yourself. You wake up in the morning, you say, I should go to the gym, then sit on the couch the whole day. Make it make sense. Because I want to understand, and nobody is perfect. And even just 20 minutes of showing up, just 10 minutes of showing up shows yourself that you respect yourself. Even just 10 minutes of doing what you said you were going to do shows your respect for yourself, because you promised yourself that you were going to do this. You made a promise, and now it's your time to keep the word to yourself, And there is this thing that people treat you exactly the way you treat yourself. And then you're wondering why you're being ghosted, why you're being taken for granted. You are on social media crying for help. He left me because I was this. She left me because I was this. Maybe if you worked on yourself, you'd attract the right people. If every day you're making promises to yourself and not keeping them, what is the difference between you and that guy that ghosted you? What is the difference between you and that guy or lady that ghosted you? You're the same clowns. It's the same thing. You attract who you are. You know, it doesn't work any other way. It doesn't work any other way. You attract exactly who you are. And in worst scenarios, you attract the people that need you, you know. So for instance, if I'm a healthy person with healthy habits, well, sometimes I might go overboard in really wanting to save people, and therefore I'll only attract people who need saving, people who need help, you know. So that is the worst case scenario. If you're like too healthy, or if you're doing great in other aspects of life, if you wake up today and you make a promise to yourself that you are gonna do something, do it. Otherwise, the difference between you and that guy that ghosted you is one of you has a female part and the other one has a male part. Okay? You cannot fool yourself into self-love. Now, henceforth, every time you say you're gonna do something, do it. Otherwise, don't promise yourself anything. Otherwise, don't tell yourself, I should do this, I should do this. You're hurting yourself, you know? You're creating more damage. You are making empty promises, promises that you have absolutely no intention of fulfilling. So if you're going to make a promise to yourself and not keeping, just shut up. Okay? If you're gonna make a promise to yourself that you don't intend to keep, just don't mention it to yourself. Don't wake up saying I should go to the gym. Don't wake up saying I should start creating boundaries. Don't wake up telling yourself I should start dressing better. Don't wake up telling yourself I should start taking my nutrition more seriously, you know. Because these are grave matters, you know, and your body. And for some people, you make a lot of promises to yourself and end up not keeping it. And a few years later, your body becomes a rebel. Your mental health becomes a rebel. To you, it works against you, you know. You are constantly having injuries. You're constantly having attacks. You're constantly having problems with your body. Why? Because you made empty promises that you had no decency of fulfilling. You know, so if you say to yourself that you're going to do something, do it. And this is not a matter of motivation. Forget about motivation. None of us is motivated to do these things, you know, but we still do them anyway. It's about discipline. It's about, I said I was going to do this. How much respect do I have for myself to do this? And your self-respect is what's going to make the greatest difference, you know, because if you respect yourself less, you're not going to take your work seriously. You know, and you're going to attract the same people. So these things are not just about you, it's also about the people you intend to attract. If you intend to attract better, then you're going to have to start acting better. If you intend to attract people who show up, then you're going to have to start showing up. Because otherwise, if you're comfortable lying to yourself, if you're comfortable making empty promises to yourself, then you're going to attract people who do the same thing. And these are the kind of people who teach you like trash. And one thing about you is, and it's possible to like attract such people, except the difference between you and somebody that has enough self-respect is somebody that has self-respect will see that and say, you know what, I don't even treat myself this way, so I don't deserve this and I cannot see you anymore. It has to end. And they're going to give up the whole idea of this person in their life. Except for you, because you're used to lying to yourself, you will not have a problem with somebody lying to you. In fact, you will make excuses for that person. You'll be like, oh, maybe he was at work, maybe he's busy, maybe his mental health is not okay, you know. And this is when you find yourself making excuses for people because you're used to making excuses for yourself. You lack accountability and therefore you cannot hold other people accountable. And that is why I say It all starts with you. You have to want better. You have to want for people to treat you better. But it all starts with how you treat yourself. How seriously do you take yourself? How much time do you dedicate in taking care of yourself? You know, it all matters. It's all very important. All this says a lot about you. And how you treat yourself is ultimately how the people you want to be in your life will treat you. If you don't take yourself seriously, they're going to treat you that way. They're going to treat you exactly in an unserious manner, you know. So you have to decide the kind of person you want to be, because the kind of person you want to be will dictate the kind of people you want to be in your life, and how your children will grow up, and what kind of a society we will be living in the future, you know. Because I don't think you understand how much impact you make. You growing is good for the society. So you growing is actually a selfless act. So if you ever think of doing something selfless for the world, work on yourself. Work on loving yourself. Work on respecting yourself. Work on growing yourself. That is the biggest selfless act you can do for the world. Because when it starts with you, you know, it's gonna affect. It's gonna have an impact on the other person one way or the other, you know. And eventually, if every one of us grows ourselves, imagine what a beautiful world we will be living in. You know, because somebody that loves themselves, somebody that respects themselves, somebody that is accountable for themselves, they're going to share this, they're going to extend this to the next person, you know. They're going to hold the next person accountable. They're going to truly love the next person. They're going to respect the next person while also respecting themselves. So never think that you growing yourself is just for you. It is for you, it is for your future children, it is for your neighbors, it is for your future partner, and it's actually for everybody around you. And ultimately, it's for the world. So one way you can change the world is work on yourself. I know it sounds small, but if you look at the bigger picture, and one of us does this, and every one of us does this, every one of us works on themselves, then how great can the world be? You know, I don't want to imagine, because I know I'm going to be too excited, you know. But one thing I'd like to leave you with is be accountable for yourself. You might think you are lying to other people, when in reality, you know, there's only yourself to fool. So the bare minimum you can do for yourself, your mind, your soul, you know, your spirit, is to hold yourself accountable, you know. Follow up with yourself. Whatever promises you've made to yourself so far, have you achieved? Have you fulfilled any of those promises? You said you were gonna start moving your body more. Are you moving your body? If not, then you are failing yourself. You are failing yourself. And it's never too late to do something about it. You know, that's the exciting part of self-growth journey. You can sleep whatever number of times possible, but the only time you truly fail is when you give up, is when you say it's done. That's the only time you literally fail. So you're not failing it. But if you give up and stop the idea of ever moving your body, of ever taking better care of yourself, of ever working on yourself, that is when I can say you have lost. And you have lost hugely, you know. And that is not fair to the people around you. That is not fair to your future children. That is not fair to the society you live in. That is not fair to the world, you know. Because then you become a bitter person. And what do bitter people do? Bitter people hurt people, you know. You will constantly live a life where you're hurting people because you're unhappy with yourself. You didn't keep the promises you said you were going to keep. You know, you turn out to be a bitter person. You don't like seeing other people happy. You know, we are on hold to being a sadist, you know. Somebody that just wants everybody around them sad. Or maybe a narcissistic, you know, cry. So your happiness indeed means something to the world. Because if you give up on yourself, it means you're gonna be unhappy, you're gonna be depressed, you're gonna have the capability of hurting yourself. And somebody that can hurt themselves will never have a problem with hurting the next person around them. And who is the next person around you? Your children, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your neighbors. Those are the next people around you. So a better person hurts people. And how does that come from? Not being accountable is because you've made so many promises to yourself that you did not keep, and therefore you've given up and just given up the idea of living a better life, a quality life. And you therefore end up very unhappy and bitter. So whatever you do in this life, one thing you should always prioritize is taking care of yourself. But most importantly, you must keep the promises that you make to yourself. If you have no intentions of keeping promises that you make to yourself, then just stop saying the words, stop whispering the words, just don't. You can think them, nobody can stop your thoughts, but just stop saying to your body, I will do this tomorrow, and then not do it, That is the greatest disrespect to yourself. So if you want people to start respecting you more, then first of all, you're gonna have to respect yourself, And if you respect yourself, you're gonna keep your promises to yourself, okay? So from now henceforth, I don't want to see people making empty promises to themselves. I want to see people holding themselves accountable. I want to see people following up with their promises, because I promise you, this is not just for you, but for all of us, okay? And this podcast is focused on making us better people for a better society and therefore a better world. And I know you don't believe it, but one person can change the world. It all starts with one person. So I hope you are excited to keep growing yourself. I hope that from now henceforth you'll hold yourself more accountable. And I hope that these words will stick with you and self-respect will stick with you, and that you'll find true self-love that will enable you to stay true to yourself and lead you through your journey, okay? And I'm also praying for your strength, because I know it's not easy to show up. It's not easy, and like I said, it's not about motivation, it's about discipline. It doesn't matter how grumpy I am today, I'm gonna do what I said I'm gonna do, because I kept a promise to myself, because I kept a promise to myself, okay? So I'm wishing you the best. If you want to listen to the rest of the podcast, it's available on Spotify, on my Spotify channel, as well as Apple Podcasts. So go ahead and subscribe, follow, give me a follow, and leave me comments if this is life-changing for you, or if this was helpful for you. I hope to see you on the next. It was lovely being your host. Until next time, kisses. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like. Leave a comment below telling me how this podcast changed your life or how helpful it was for you. Don't forget to share with your friends, because when one person grows, all of us grow, okay? So share with your friends, share with your family members if there is something touching, or there's a message you'd like to share from this video, then share it with your friends. I'll see you next time.